Listen carefully, because you've been sold another toxic fantasy. You hear the anthems of girl power and financial independence, and you're told this is the era of the self-made woman. But that narrative is a scam. It is a deliberate illusion that masks one of the greatest high-risk burdens currently plaguing stable men: the catastrophic rise in female financial illiteracy. I'm here to declare that the modern, empowered woman is often not financially independent at all. She is chronically financially dependent and dangerously irresponsible with resources, and society has taught her it's okay. The core feminist narrative preaches self-sufficiency, but it has simultaneously created a generation that confuses spending power with wealth building. They are experts at purchasing and signaling status: the high-end travel, the designer brands, the aesthetic apartment, but completely illiterate in the foundational elements of financial security, saving, investing, and risk assessment. The entire narrative of independence has created an illusion of financial empowerment that hides a reality of dependency and reckless spending. Because the modern woman operates on a deep, unspoken biological assumption of male provision, she can engage in reckless spending and avoid basic financial literacy because she is subconsciously relying on one of two safety nets: the husband provider, the assumption that a high-value man will inevitably step in to fix the debt, fund the lifestyle, and secure the future. She treats his income as the permanent backstop for her financial choices. The divorce industry, the knowledge that if the marriage fails, the legal system is designed to transfer a significant portion of the man's long-term wealth, the assets he did accumulate through discipline, directly to her regardless of her financial contribution or literacy. This failure is not benign. It is a high-risk financial burden unjustly transferred to men. The modern woman is a financially high-risk partner because her entire economic plan is built on the assumption that his discipline will compensate for her irresponsibility. You are not just marrying a partner, you are signing a contract to become the financial absorber of a dependency problem that girl power told her she didn't have. To understand this financial illiteracy, you must grasp the psychological disconnect at play. It's the battle between the spender and the saver. For the stable, high-value man, wealth is internal and foundational. It is built through delayed gratification, discipline, investment, and future security. He is the saver-investor archetype, biologically driven to stockpile resources for long-term survival and provision. The modern woman, however, is often programmed to be the spender, prioritizing immediate status signaling over long-term wealth building. Her focus is external: expensive clothing, exotic travel, curated social experiences, and the latest gadgets. These are not just purchases, they are hypergamous signals. They communicate to the market that she is high status, desirable, and capable of attracting high-resource mates. This drive to display resources immediately is biologically rooted in her drive to maximize her current market value. Why save for 30 years when she can convince a man to provide the security she needs right now? This instant gratification creates an active lack of self-discipline regarding saving and investing. She develops a low tolerance for the boredom of long-term financial planning. Her money goes to depreciating assets that offer immediate status, while his goes to appreciating assets that secure the future. This chronic prioritization of resource display over resource accumulation is the direct psychological mechanism leading to her chronic financial dependency. She remains dependent because she has deliberately prioritized the signal over the substance. Let's look at the devastating real-world outcome of this illiteracy. Meet Lisa. Lisa married Robert, a stable man with a good income, zero consumer debt, and a meticulous savings plan. Robert saw Lisa's high-end lifestyle as a sign of success. He ignored the initial warning signs: the significant consumer debt Lisa brought into the marriage, the maxed-out credit cards she dismissed as old student loans, and the fact that she had virtually zero savings in her name. Robert, the saver, immediately began working to absorb Lisa's initial debt, believing their marriage was a team effort. But Lisa's spending habits, driven by the need for constant status signaling, did not stop. She viewed Robert's income as the new resource pool for her expensive tastes. They couldn't save for the down payment on the house Robert wanted, or invest for retirement, because they were constantly diverting funds to service Lisa's high-interest credit card debt and fund her desire for the next high-status purchase. Her financial illiteracy became a saboteur of their shared long-term goals. When the predictable marital friction caused by this financial instability led to divorce, the system performed its final, cynical act. The legal system equally divided Robert's appreciating assets, his retirement savings, his investments, and the equity he built. But Lisa walked away retaining her history of high-interest consumer debt, which she then expected a subsequent man to fix, or she simply filed for bankruptcy, minimizing her consequence. Robert became the final financial absorber of her illiteracy. He lost years of disciplined savings to service her debt and divide his own hard-earned wealth, while Lisa faced minimal long-term repercussions for her recklessness. This case proves that the modern man is often the last, unwilling financial safety net for his partner's lack of discipline. The core financial problem here is societal hypocrisy, the ability of the modern woman to weaponize traditional roles when it benefits her, while simultaneously demanding the rights and assets of modern feminism. It's a blatant transactional double standard that men are being forced to subsidize. On one hand, the culture screams independence and equality. Women demand equal access to careers, decision-making, and, critically, equal access to the assets accrued during the marriage. Thanks to modern feminism, this is the modern role. But watch what happens when the bill comes. When it's time to select a partner, she demands high male income, provision, and paying for all the dates. The expectation reverts instantly to the most rigid traditional role. The man is the primary resource funnel. She wants the high-status lifestyle provided by a traditional provider, but assumes none of the financial discipline or risk that built that wealth. This is the double standard in action. She demands all the benefits of high provider status. The lifestyle, the security, the protection from financial hardship, but refuses to accept any of the corresponding risk, effort, or discipline. She wants his income to reflect 1950s gender roles, while her accountability reflects 2025 feminism. And who protects this deception? The media. They celebrate financial recklessness as self-care or luxury. They validate debt as a normal part of the boss babe. Lifestyle, teaching women that their high spending is an indication of their high value. They are effectively promoting a financial mindset that guarantees her dependency on a man's future earnings. The modern man is caught in a trap where he must sacrifice his capital to fund a partner who has been culturally conditioned to believe that his discipline exists solely to compensate for her lack of it. We have stripped away the illusion. We have documented the debt, the illiteracy, and the structural hypocrisy. You now understand that the biggest financial trap for the modern man is not a poor investment, but a partner who views him as the ultimate unwilling financial safety net for her own lack of discipline. Therefore, your mandate is simple, absolute, and non-negotiable. You must view a woman's financial literacy, debt, and spending habits as the primary indicator of her character and future risk. The uncompromising rules of financial defense. Financial literacy is a character trait. Stop viewing financial stability as merely an adult skill. It is a direct reflection of discipline, long-term thinking, self-control, and gratitude. A woman who lives perpetually in debt, prioritizes status signaling over savings, and lacks basic investment knowledge is signaling that she is unfit for partnership in a stable, wealth-building environment. Reject societal pressure. You must reject the societal pressure to assume financial leadership for a partner who refuses personal accountability. It is not romantic to absorb her debt. It is not chivalrous to fund her reckless spending. It is a foolish and fatal sacrifice of your own financial future. The moment you step in to fix her budget, you become the parent, not the partner, and you guarantee her financial immaturity will continue. Prioritize transparency over romance. Treat any resistance to discussing debt, spending habits, or savings as a major red flag. Financial secrecy is emotional dishonesty. You are entering a decades-long contract. Demand the transparency of a business deal, because that is what it is. The final verdict: do not sign the contract. The modern narrative of girl power has, in practice, become nothing more than the power to transfer irresponsible debt to you. It is the power to accumulate high-interest liabilities, enjoy the status signaling, and then offload the repayment burden onto the man who dared to love and provide. Do not be the financial absorber. Do not be the safety net that catches her recklessness. Do not sign the contract. Protect your capital, protect your peace, and protect your future from the financial illiteracy that society has celebrated as empowerment.